Happy Fun Fact Friday! We were on a quick adventure to Oakwood Lake State Park to do a little frisbee golfing today, and we have our first tick of the season. I'm going to show you a little trick on how to tell if it's a male or a female. Ticks are not good, but this is your regular old dog tick, and this guy isn't going to carry Lyme's disease. The Lyme's disease carrying ticks are going to be your deer ticks, and they're much smaller. They're going to be about the size of the end of a pen. So they're going to be much smaller. This is a dog tick. I'm going to flip you around and give you a little lesson. So if you look really closely, you will see that there's a ring around her neck. This is a female. To remember this, the females have necklaces and the males have overalls. So if this were a male, it would have two lines down the middle of its back. And there's your fun fact for the day. I didn't figure it would take too long before we found another tick, and it just so happened to be a male. If you look closely, it's kind of bumpy, but if you look closely, you can see the two lines going down its back, which indicate that this is a male wood tick. Legs are curled in. That is because I gave him a good squeeze. I am not a fan of ticks, so I am not opposed to ending their life. So I squeezed it, and then his legs curled in, and that's how we know that he is dead and no longer of any harm. Wrigley is only 20 weeks old. She is a tired little puppy. She played hard today, and we do not have her on Frontline yet. So you really want to be careful on those young pups. There was a snake on the road that we just went over. We missed it. If you have young dogs or other pets that are not frontlined or have that flea and tick protection, you're either going to want to get them on that as soon as you can, or really check them over this time of year. Check their ears and underneath their collars. Those are big places for ticks to get. So I'm going to dispose of this guy properly, and we will be back with more fun facts as we go. All right, we are home, and it is a lot less bumpy. But while we're on that topic, did you know that there are many trees and plants that have separate genders as well? Well, many plants and trees have both flowers that produce pollen and fruit on the same plant. There are some that are strictly female and some that are strictly male. If the tree is a male and contains flowers, then it's going to produce pollen. Meanwhile, if the tree is a female, then those flowers are going to produce fruit. These trees are called dioecious trees. Some examples include ash, mulberry, and box elder trees. On the other hand, there are also monoecious trees, meaning that they contain flowers that produce both pollen and fruit on the same tree. A great example of a monoecious tree is a pine tree. These guys can make pine cones, which is considered to be their flower. You'll find the female cones grow on the top of the tree in the upper branches, where they can get pollen that's blown in from the male cones that are on the lower branches. Some other monoecious trees include birch, oak, and spruce trees. Go outside and see what kind of trees are in your yard. Can you decipher if they're boys or girls? Identifying different plants is probably one of my all-time favorite pastimes. If you don't believe me, you can ask any one of my friends and family members, and they're going to tell you that anytime we go anywhere, we're going to ID plants, whether they want to do it or not. Luckily, they are usually up for a good nature lesson, so I usually don't have any problems IDing plants in front of them, but I've definitely gotten a little grief for it because I'm addicted to it. When I first got the desire to know every single plant under the face of the earth in our area, I would just send pictures of them to my already nature plant IDing experts, and they would give me an ID, and I believed them. But then I was introduced to a free app called iNaturalist. On this app, you can take a picture of whatever plant, insect, tree, any living organism that you can find, upload it to it, and it's going to give you a list of suggestions based on what the plant looks like and where you're located. It's usually pretty accurate. Because I've learned a lot from this app, and from my peers, I can attest that it is a pretty accurate app. So they're going to give you a list of those suggestions, and you can select it. If enough people agree with what you picked, then it gets bumped up to research grade. It gets bumped up to research grade, and when it's research grade, then it can be used in different studies from National Geographic. So this free app is incredible, and I've learned so much from it, and I suggest you download it right now, and you can learn a whole bunch of stuff as well. However, if you need help IDing a plant and you don't want to download the app, feel free to send it in, and we will help you figure out what that plant is, and we'll get you onto the right track. don't hesitate. We love to do it. So you're all set. Download the iNaturalist app and get exploring. Learn a little bit in your area. It's not all just native stuff either. It lists off some orientals. It's worldwide. So when I travel places, I am always snapping pictures and uploading plants that I have never seen. So I highly suggest jumping on that, getting that app downloaded, and doing the same. It's so interesting. Okay, back to Fun Fact Friday. I just watched a squirrel jump from one tree to the other tree, and it got some wheels turning, and I love squirrels. So we're going to learn a little bit about squirrels today. Did you know that there are about 280 different species of squirrels? Now you do. I mentioned it in our migration and hibernation video that squirrels are considered nappers. So they don't fully hibernate, but they'll wake up for short periods of time between snows to grab food. And I also mentioned that they use their big fluffy tail as a warm blanket throughout winter, but they also use that tail to help them balance while jumping from tree to tree, like what I just witnessed. Did you know that they can find food buried under the snow up to a foot deep all winter? So they are really good at finding food that they hid. However, here is the saddest fact. It is not a fun fact. The saddest fact that you're going to hear throughout this whole Fun Fact Friday episode. Squirrels lose about 25% of their buried food to thieves every year. However, lucky for them, I'm going to keep my bird feeders good and stocked so they don't have to worry about not having food at my house, because I love watching squirrels. I have one more super cool technology thing for you guys today. Google has added a life-size artificial reality option on a ton of different animals. So what you're going to do is you're going to go right to the Google homepage, search up whatever animal you want to see in your living room, sync your phone and your camera up to Google, and be prepared to be mind blown. We've played around with it a lot, and my personal favorites are the octopus, the mallard, and of course, a cute little black lab like the one that's sleeping so soundly on the couch. So, go search it up and let us see what you find. Send in the animals that you put in your living room. I will show you my cousin with her arm around an octopus and petting a lion. This is a new thing for Fun Fact Friday, and I love it. I had a few people send in questions this week, and what better time to answer these questions than Fun Fact Friday? Okay, first question. Do fish have ears? The answer is that they do not have ears that we can see, but they do have ear parts inside their head called otoliths or ear stones. They pick up sound in the water through their lateral lines and in those internal ears, and that's how they hear. So I received another question, and this one's unique, and I love it. On Frozen 2, Olaf says that turtles can breathe through their butt. Is this true? Well, it is true. Technically, the term is called colloquial respiration, and it's not so much breathing as just letting oxygen out and carbon dioxide out, but the fact remains that while turtles hibernate, their main source of oxygen is through their butt. So I guess they do, yes. This week is Easter, and I know many of us are celebrating a little bit different. Create some new traditions with your family, get outside, try to ID some new plants that are beginning to pop up, go for an adventure in a state park or recreation area, or hang out with a life-size lion in your backyard. Whatever you decide to do, enjoy that extra time with your family. Today's challenge is an egg decorating contest. It only seems fitting to have an egg decorating contest on Easter, right? So go to the link below this video, and it's a Google Drive link. There'll be a picture of a blank basic egg, and I want you to decorate it and send it back in. While I have you here, I do want to draw for the last 2 weeks' prizes. I have left you hanging on that, so I am going to draw 2 names for each week. You'll receive a State Parks beanie, 100-year beanie, a reading book all about camping, hunting, and fishing, and a nature activity pack. So let's start drawing. All right, the first name is Eliana. So Eliana, I will be reaching out to your mother. The next name, Briar. I will text your mother right away. Where are we at? Josie. Okay, so those were from week 1. Here we're on to week 2. Josie is the winner for week 2. And Lucy. 2 of the same family on that one. So I will send your appropriate guardian your answers or a message and get those prizes sent out as soon as I can. What do you think? Are you full as a tick on fun facts from today? Well, I sure hope so, because this has become my favorite day of the week. I hope everybody has an excellent Easter and can get outside and enjoy spring. Stay healthy, stay happy, wash your hands often, and we will see you Monday. These are so good.